Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing a dive into the new Dior holiday collection called the Atelier of Dreams, which basically just means the workshop of dreams. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me live through a video chat. This is perfect if you have makeup that you've owned for a while but aren't sure how to use up or how to wear. This is a great opportunity for the consultation. So if you want to make an appointment or if you want a gift card for someone else, click the link in the description box down below. All right. The Atelier of Dreams, the dream workshop for the holiday season. I picked up a couple items here. I picked up this beautiful blush here. This is number 601, which I believe is called Hologram. Now, this does exist already. This is not new, but of course the packaging is new. The outside of the blush here is supposed to look like the workshop, the headquarters of Dior in Paris. There is one location called 30 Montagne or 30 Mountain Road. This, I believe, is their flagship store, but I could be wrong. I believe they have headquarters there, and there are a few other boutiques around that neighborhood, but this is the facade of this beautiful workshop of dreams. And I have to say that the packaging for this collection here is so beautiful. The packaging to me is so whimsical. It really just invites you and draws you into this beautiful fantasy world filled with warm, inviting light, and I just think it's gorgeous. I love these seasonal promotions. I just love the packaging. I love when it's extra. Now, as far as the eyeshadows go, there are two palettes to choose from, and I really went back and forth for a while. I ended up going with the more warm toned palette. There was one that is more cool toned. It has a pop of silver in the center, and from what I understand, the rest of the tones are more taupey. But I went with something a bit more classic. I went with number 469 Atelier Doré, so golden or gold workshop here. I just like these types of more neutral, leaning warm colors. They're very flattering, very easy to wear, and because it's the holiday season for makeup, as far as makeup brands are concerned, the holiday collections have been churned out, as you've noticed. And so when I buy these collections, I tend to buy from several different brands. I try to find balance. I wasn't exactly certain if the cool toned one would be too smoky, because I have one from Chanel that's just like the number 5 palette. That's like a classic smoky look. But with this collection here, I may in fact go in store and do a second purchase, because the more I look at this collection, the more I want. Something to note about the new holiday blush: it is 6.7 grams of product, which is the exact same as the regular collection blushes, and these both have an expiration date of 12 months. So theoretically, once you open it and once you start using it, you should use it up within 12 months. Now, the same can be said for the holiday collection palette. So this is 7.6 grams of product, as is the regular collection. Now, the eyeshadows here are technically on a shorter lifespan. This says use within 6 months, which is the same as the regular collection. I've owned mine for longer than 6 months. I'm not exactly certain why the new Dior eyeshadow formulation has such a short lifespan, but it is the same as the regular collection. Now, there are other items in the collection that I did not pick up, and I am now facing makeup regret. There are the beautiful bauble lipsticks. I call them baubles because to me they look like Christmas tree ornaments. These come out every single holiday season. These are colors in beautiful limited edition packaging, and what's extra is that these lipsticks have the same embossing as the eyeshadow and the blush here, so you get the detailing of the facade of the Dior workshop. Now, apart from the Diorific Bauble lipsticks, there are also a set of the regular tube lipsticks from Dior, and they have extra special packaging. I am definitely feeling lots of makeup regret as we're sitting here. I think I may have to go pick up one of these lipsticks in store, because not only is the outside of the lipstick tube very extra, but the actual case itself is so extra. You have the embossing or engraving of the workshop on the tube, and then inside you have different finishes. You have satin, velvet, metallic, and they have what looks like a ribbon. I picked up one of these a few weeks ago or a month ago. This was the Dior Couture collection. So this is number 720 Icon, which this shade here is permanent. It's, you know, you can get it without the special detailing ribbon wrapped around, but the fact that it's special packaging makes it extra. And of course, they have the Diorific nail polishes, which come in the same sort of like holiday tree bauble set as the lipsticks. These shades I have seen before. I have definitely a couple of the classic reds from Dior specifically, as well as more of the deeper plummy shades. So when I go in store, if I see these and if they look just a little bit different, I may pick up one of these, but in general, I just love the packaging of those nail polish bottles. It's just, I didn't want to repeat too much of what I already own. So I think we should just go ahead and create a tutorial. If you're new to my channel, whenever I get a collection, I create several different looks with the same collection. I also mix and match. As I said, it's the cosmetic holiday season, so I have a lot of other holiday collections that I'm going to be mixing together, etc. So if you're not already subscribed, I strongly encourage you to do so. So before I dive into the tutorial, I'm going to add something for my lips. This is the Dior Lip Glow Oil in the shade Cherry. These are magnificent. They're different than the lip maximizers because these don't offer that tingling effect. It's more just a very nourishing, hydrating oil. I think we should appreciate this palette one last time here on camera before I dip in and swatch, because it is so incredibly beautiful. I have my gardenia candle holder here with some eyeshadow brushes, so I think I'm ready to dive in. I'm going to start by going into this shade here. All of the brushes used will be listed in the description box down below. And I do have quite a bit of Dior eyeshadows, so if I can think of anything that might be similar to this at the end, I might do some swatch comparisons. So far, this first shade is going on really beautifully. It feels like the exact same texture as the regular Dior eyeshadows, very satiny, very opaque, and just very easy to apply. Now I'm going into this darker shade on the bottom here, and I'm going to concentrate it a bit more outside here. I'm going to try to rein in my extra gene, which tries to make everything just a little bit, not too much, but sometimes very smoky, and I'm going to try to just bring this down a bit. Then I'm taking a clean blending brush and I'm just going to buff those two colors together here. And I'm actually going to dip it back into that darker color and just try to build it up slowly. Now taking a tapered brush, I'm using that same color that I used on top of my eye and tracing it on the bottom lash line. Okay, I'm going to go into the center gold shade, but I'm going to use one of the little sponge tip applicators and just sort of press it on the inner corner here. Okay, so as far as fallout goes, there is barely any. Even with the more sparkly shade, I was thinking maybe the center shade was more of a topper, but it's still that really beautiful creamy quality. And the shadows, they blend very nicely, the exact same quality as before. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the eyes. I'm using a Chanel Dentelle Dior, a Chanel waterproof liner in black, and then I'm using the Diorshow Mascara. All right, for the foundation, I'm feeling quite extra. So I'm gonna go into my Dior Cushion Foundation. This is the Dior Forever Perfect Cushion Foundation in the shade 2 Neutral or 2N. I bought this, I think in the summer, and I bought this specifically because the cushion compact just looks so beautiful. And then I was very pleasantly surprised with the actual foundation itself. This formula here is a little bit more matte than I'm used to wearing, but it's not drying whatsoever, so it's a really beautiful finish. I said I was going to do my mascara and I completely forgot, so let me go ahead and do that. All right, that's done. Let's go into concealer. I am going to cheat. I'm going to use my Clé de Peau concealer, the shade Almond. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of contouring. So I'm going to use my Dior Backstage contour palette. I'm going to use the more lighter colors. So these here, this one is a highlighting color, and then here is the contour. But the highlight isn't a traditional highlighter that you think of that's just like glowing. It's more of a brightening under eye, or just to bring brightness and lightness. It's not going to give you that like blinding highlighter effect that we're used to. So you can just place it essentially where you want there to be more light, and then the dark contour is going to go underneath. It's really just to add a tiny bit of definition. Now I'm going in with my blush. I have a suspicion that this blush might be a little bit more of a topper than just a actual blush, but we'll see in a second here. It just looks quite light, but we'll see. It's very sparkly. It has more shimmer than some of their other colors, and yeah, like on me it's more of a topper color. It looks very iridescent and pearlescent, but the shimmer particles are a little bit bigger than I would like. Sometimes there are other Dior blushes that have a softer integration of the shimmer pigments. This one feels a little bit more heavy-handed, and it's, yeah, definitely more of a topper. Like there is some color, but it's a lot more sparkle than anything else. So this is the blush here, but it really is almost like somewhere between a highlighter and a blush topper. I'm going to go into Rose Montagne, which has that better integration of shimmer and blush. And I'm just going to mix it into my topper here because it's just like, I don't know, not my favorite. So for me, this 601 hologram in the beautiful packaging is going to be more of a topper like this, or highlighter, because you need to add a lot to get color payoff, and there really isn't that much color. It is really just a highlighter, so just be aware of that if you do decide to purchase this. However, if you have a Rose Montagne in your collection already, this will pair very beautifully with the new holiday blush because it's really just a highlighter. I'm going back into that center gold shade with a very small pencil brush here, and I'm just going to add just a little drop of color or highlight on the inner corner here. Okay, so for the lip, I want something red, and I have the classic Dior 999. This is their iconic red. This is from a collection a few years ago. It is not this year's holiday packaging, but I think that it will do for today's look. And I'm also going to use the 999 lip pencil just to fill in and define my lips. And then last but not least, we have to complete our look with a fragrance. And I'm going into the Dior Addict Eau de Parfum. I love this fragrance. It's sweet, there's vanilla, there's tonka bean. It's a little bit powdery. It smells almost a bit icy. It is a gourmand fragrance, but it's also just like a hint of lightness to it. Like it's not syrupy. It's not like Lancôme La Vie est Belle. I think it has a bit more of white flowers, like orange blossom to it. And I just love it. And I think it'll be really nice for this holiday look. If you like the Dior Poison or Pure Poison fragrances, I think you would like this. Even the Guerlain, Mon Guerlain, like they're kind of in that same vein. I think Mon Guerlain is a bit heavier, but it is in that vanilla family of fragrances. All right, so my final thoughts here. I think that pairing this 999 lipstick was a really good idea. If you like wearable, easy, user-friendly, warm shades, this is definitely your palette. Get the golden eyeshadow palette. It's really great. It's the exact same quality as we've seen before from Dior. They've really knocked it out of the park as far as opacity, blendability, creaminess. It's just a really lovely palette. I think this palette will also have a lot of versatility. I used a few shades today, but as I mentioned, I will certainly keep using it. And I think there's possibilities to make this even lighter and just more neutral every day, and also to make it heavier and smokier as well. It's a great palette overall. I don't think that I have a perfect dupe for it. The Soft Cashmere palette, which is one of my all-time favorites, might bring some similarities, but this one here is much more neutral and cool toned. You do get like one more chocolatey brown, but overall Soft Cashmere leans more cool toned. I think this one here is kind of one of a kind. There may be some shades here and there, like I have Poncho here that has more topper shades in it, and this one is golden and warm, but I think that the Atelier palette offers more variety. Poncho is just very warm and you just get more topper shades. I think that this is a really beautiful palette. Obviously, if you've been collecting for some time, you might have some similar shades, but I don't have a palette that's exactly like this. So I think this is the finished look here. Overall, I love the palette. I think the blush is maybe a little bit of a miss for me, but I think it just depends going in what you expect. If you treat this like it's a highlighter, you're going to love it. If you expect a blush, maybe not. But like I said, if you already own Rose Montagne, you could definitely create a really beautiful flush to the cheeks, so it's up to you. But the Golden Workshop is definitely a 10 out of 10. I think it's beautiful. I think it's really gorgeous, very versatile, and like I said, very user-friendly. So those are my thoughts on the Dior holiday collection this year. Let me know in the comments, what did you pick up? What did you skip? Let us know in the comments. Are you also feeling a little bit of makeup regret? This is definitely a thing that we have all experienced from time to time. Let me know as well which looks you'd like me to create in the future with this collection here, or any looks in general you want to see on my channel. So on that note, I think this is all I have for you guys for today. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.